Art at its core is a deeply personal endeavor. It transcends the objective measures and criteria our cultures often employ to evaluate diverse artistic expressions, serving instead as a unique window into specific moments in time. These creations not only embody the artist's emotions and sentiments, but they also offer profound insights into the epochs they represent. Scholarly works and studies abound that delve into this interpretive process, shedding light on an artist's intentions and the cultural resonance of their works. This paper aims to explore the cultural significance of art as a medium to represent themes of death and destruction. Focusing on two particularly poignant examples, The Death of Virginia by Guillaume Guillon-Lethière and The Destruction of Pharaoh's Host by John Martin, I will delve into how these two works communicate with the viewer, conveying powerful messages that are capable of transcending time and place. In her Beginner's Guide to Visual Analysis, Madeleine Luxton of the Orleans House Gallery underscores the critical importance of understanding the artist behind the artwork. Following this guidance, this essay will first introduce Lethière and Martin, offering insights into their backgrounds and the historical context of their work. This foundation will then help us understand and pave the way for us to explore a more nuanced, personal analysis of both paintings, exploring how these masterpieces encapsulate the artist's perspectives on life's transience and its inevitable intersection with mortality. Death and destruction are two themes that have a profound and near universal resonance with us as humans, primarily because of our inherent awareness of our own mortality. This awareness, often referred to as the Memento Mori concept in art and philosophy, reminds us of the inevitability of death and the transient nature of life. The depictions of these themes within artwork can evoke a range of emotions from fear and sorrow to a poignant sense of appreciation for the fleeting beauty of life. When artists like Lethière and Martin explore these themes in their works, they tap into a deep-seated existential contemplation within all of us. Such art serves as a mirror reflecting our deepest anxieties and hopes about the end of life and the destruction that often precedes or accompanies it. The portrayal of these themes prompts us to confront our fears and invites introspection about our own lives, the legacies we hope to leave behind, and the universal human experience of grappling with the idea of impermanence. Furthermore, art that encompasses death and destruction often can transcend personal fear, connecting us to the broader human narrative all of us share. It underscores the shared human condition across times and cultures, a reminder that, no matter our differences, we all face the same ultimate fate. This shared experience can foster a sense of empathy and connection, making art an even more powerful medium with which we can explore and express these universally felt themes. Guillaume Guillon-Lethière was a prominent French painter known for his significant contributions to the neoclassical painting. Born in Guadeloupe, he moved to France where he studied under renowned artists such as Jean-Baptiste Regnault. Lethière's work was characterized by its dramatic expression and historical subjects, often drawing from classical antiquity and mythology. A very notable aspect of Lethière's life was his mixed-race heritage. His father was a French government official, and his mother was a freed African slave. This background played a crucial role in his perspectives and themes, making him a unique figure in the European art scene of his time. His most famous work, of which we will explore its sketch, was The Death of Virginia, a depiction of a horrifying moment in ancient Roman history. To quote the Getty Museum's description of this sketch, Virginia, the daughter of an army officer, has fallen into a death swoon. Rather than see her forced into slavery by a corrupt and lustful magistrate, her soldier father has stabbed her in an act of desperation. The furiously distraught man brandishes the bloody dagger at the magistrate, standing defensively above. All around, the agitated populace rises in an angry protest. This painting, along with others, cemented his place in art history, particularly in the context of the neoclassical movement that sought to revive the classical styles and subjects of ancient Greece and Rome. Lethière's influence extended beyond his paintings. He served as a director of the French Academy in Rome, a very prestigious position that allowed him to be a mentor to future generations of artists. Not only was his legacy in his artwork, but it was also in his contribution to the development of neoclassical aesthetics and his role in shaping the artistic talents of the early 19th century. When we explore The Death of Virginia by Guillaume through the elements of line, color, and light, it becomes much easier to see why the painting has such powerful impact and such a huge sense of meaning. The use of lines plays a crucial role in guiding the viewer's attention and structuring the composition. Sharp, structured lines create a sense of order and rigidity to the backdrop, contrasting starkly with the chaotic, fluid lines that are used to depict the figures at the core of the painting. This contrast serves to highlight the tumultuous nature of the scene. The lines that are used to depict each of the figures are both dynamic and expressive, capturing the movement and emotion of the crowd and the dramatic gesture of the father. His raised dagger is outlined with a clear, decisive line, drawing the eye to this pivotal element and emphasizing its significance in the painting's narrative. Lethière employs a muted earth palette with strategic use of brighter colors to draw attention to the key elements in this composition. The drab colors of the backdrop and the soldiers further emphasize the rigidity and coldness of authority, while the warmer tones used for the central figures convey the heat of their emotions. The use of red, particularly in the father's tunic, and the blood symbolize to me passion, violence, sacrifice. They reinforce the painting's dramatic and emotional intensity. When it comes to light, Lethière uses it masterfully to create focus and to enhance the emotional impact. It seems to almost emanate from the central figures, most prominently Virginia and her father, casting them into a spotlight that underscores their roles as focal points in this narrative. The use of this light is not only highlighting their physical forms, but it also symbolizes the enlightenment and moral clarity of their actions amidst the surrounding chaos and darkness. To me, this piece centers heavily on the themes of tragedy and the ironic nature of death. The sharp, structured backdrop symbolizes the rigid and unyielding nature of societal structures and authority, which stand in stark contrast to the emotional turmoil and despair of the people. The father's gesture with the dagger, which I view to be more as a tragic consequence of the magistrate's actions, highlights the theme of unintended consequences and the tragic irony that efforts to avoid death often will lead to its occurrence. The obscured soldiers beating back the crowd in the background, they highlight the ignorance, or perhaps even the indifference of those in power to the suffering and chaos they cause. This suggests to me that the painting isn't just a depiction of a historical scene, but a commentary on the human condition, the tragedy of death, and the often self-inflicted nature of our greatest fears and sorrows. John Martin was a noble British artist, renowned for his dramatic and often apocalyptic landscape paintings. Born in Haydenbridge, Northumberland, Martin had emerged from humble beginnings to become one of the most distinctive and imaginative artists of the 19th century. His work is characterized by its grand scale, its dramatic lighting, and its intense, often turbulent emotional tone. Martin's paintings are of a different sort. They often depict vast, awe-inspiring scenes, blending natural landscapes with fantastical elements that seem to be ripped right from a Hollywood epic. He clearly had a penchant for biblical and mythological themes, which he rendered with a unique combination of precision and imaginative flair. His art wasn't merely about capturing the physicality of a scene, but it was also about evoking a sense of the sublime, that feeling of awe and terror in the face of nature's overwhelming force and beauty. In addition to his paintings, Martin was also very involved in various engineering and architectural projects, showcasing his diverse talents and interests beyond just amazing paintings. His vision extended beyond the canvas, as he proposed grandiose but unrealized planning schemes for London, reflecting his deep engagement with the social and the environmental issues of his time. Despite his significant contributions to the art world, Martin's work was sometimes met with mixed critical reception during his lifetime. However, his influence was far-reaching, impacting not just the world of art, but also of popular culture, including literature and cinema. Today, Martin is celebrated as a visionary artist whose work continues to captivate and inspire, recognized for both its bold imagination and its profound emotional impact. As we begin, we'll talk about Martin's work, The Destruction of the Pharaoh's Army. Through lines and color, we can explore the depth the profound depth contained within its representation of a biblical cataclysm. It emphasizes how powerful and unforgiving the natural world can be. Martin uses lines throughout this painting to convey the overwhelming power of the scene. The lines of the waves are curved and tumultuous, swirling around the center of the painting in a chaotic dance that captures the true fury of the sea. These lines are contrasted with the straighter, more stable lines used to depict Moses and the observers, creating a juxtaposition between human order and natural disorder. This contrast enhances the sense of chaos and destruction wrought upon Pharaoh's army by the natural, or possibly even divine, action. The color scheme behind this painting is dominated by dark, brooding hues, punctuated by the stark red of the setting sun. The dark blues and blacks of the raging sea and stormy sky create an atmosphere of unparalleled doom and gloom. They emphasize this painting's ominous mood. The blood-red sun serves as a powerful visual focal point, symbolizing both the wrath of God and the violence of the event. In truth, this blood-red sun is what drew me personally to investigate this piece of art further. This use of color not only sets the emotional tone of the painting, but it also highlights the central theme of divine retribution and destruction. When it comes to light, Martin is immaculate. Light particularly plays a crucial role in this artwork, showing off the dramatic contrast between the dark storm clouds and the luminous red sun. This interplay of light and shadow seeks to accentuate the painting's dramatic impact, focusing the viewer's attention on the central event. The light that emanates from the sun casts a foreboding glow over the scene, underscoring the painting's apocalyptic theme. When I view this painting, I see a depiction of nature's overwhelming force and the insignificance of human endeavors in the face of divine wrath. The obscured, almost non-existent figures of Pharaoh's army, engulfed by the violent sea waves, highlight the theme of complete eradication rather than simply a mere defeat. The blood-red sun, dark and clouded sky, and the reactions of the observers, likely who were the Israelites, reinforce a sense of doom and the futility of resistance against such uncontrollable might. Looking upon the figure of Moses, small and obscured in the lower right of the frame, I see him as perhaps begging for mercy as opposed to leading in prayer. This to me adds a unique dimension to the painting's narrative, as I see it as suggestive of vulnerability and awe even in the face of a divinely sanctioned retribution. Perhaps Martin wasn't just trying to depict the chaotic, apocalyptic biblical vengeance, but perhaps he was also commenting on the human condition, on our vulnerability and the awe-inspiring power of the natural and divine worlds. In short, these two paintings to me represent death and destruction, but they also represent beauty. They represent awe. They represent something so amazing and so powerful that we can't really speak to it. These paintings aren't just beautiful, they're scary. And I think somewhere in that fear is something we can all relate to, something human. Hopefully I conveyed my feelings of these paintings well, but if not, hopefully you got to enjoy them as much as I did. Thank you.